Hey, what's up, guys? This is attorney Mohammed Luwemba broadcasting live from my loft here in Atlanta. I just want to, a part of this whole Don't Go to Prison initiative and this whole thing that I started to deter black youth from going to prison. It's not just an initiative, it's not just a documentary, it's also a brand. We got the Don't Go to Prison products coming out real soon. But I just want to tell you guys something that I already knew. It's not really a legal tip. It's just something that I think most people aren't aware of. And if they are, they haven't really had an opportunity to digest exactly what I mean when I say it. For those of you that are out there committing alleged crimes, or you know someone that is out there committing alleged crime, living the street life or whatever, a lot of times in my experience as an attorney, it's not about the crime that was allegedly committed. It's more about where the crime was allegedly committed. And I'll give you a prime example. I drove about 80 miles today to get to a county called Meriwether County. Meriwether County is about, I say maybe 90 miles away from Alabama. I have a client down there that I would consider a small case, possession of marijuana with intent to distribute. Small case, like 3 ounces or less, not a big deal. Up here in Atlanta and Fulton County and DeKalb County and Gwinnett County, I do way bigger drug cases than that. Cases where clients get caught with 20 keys, 30 keys, 500, 600 pounds of weed, stuff like that. So I took the case because it was referred to me by another client that I had down in Troup County that I had a pretty big methamphetamine trafficking case, and I played him out and we got a pretty good deal on that. So if this guy would have caught this case, let's say in DeKalb County or Fulton County or Clayton County or even Douglas County, a county that's a lot more enlightened, they probably would have reduced it to simple possession. This guy hasn't had a criminal conviction in over 20 years. They probably would have reduced it to simple possession, or they would have gave him diversion, which means you don't plead guilty, you don't plead not guilty. They just put you in a diversion program. You do 50 hours of community service, you pay a fine, you come back to the court within 90 days to show that you've done everything that you wanted them to do, and they dismiss the case. That's what would have happened in a more progressive county. Down here in Meriwether County, the prosecutor, who's not a mean person, but the prosecutors get away with what they can get away with, just like criminal defense attorneys get away with what they can get away with. Their client is the state. Our client is the individual that retained us. So he made an offer. First offer was plead guilty to the felony, offer the client 10 years to serve 1 in prison. Are you out of your goddamn mind? For a couple ounces of weed? The second offer was plead guilty to the felony and 90 days in jail with a $1,500 fine. The third option was plead guilty to the felony and 6 months work release. Work release basically mean you living in a group home with other inmates. You get up, you go to work. When you get off work, you come back, you sleep there, and you do that for 6 months. But the problem is my client would have to plead out to the felony. And what my client does for a living, I can't say, but I can't have him plead out to no felony. So I'm going back and forth with the prosecutor about this situation. And it's not even about this situation. My point is that in a lot of other counties in the state of Georgia, we would be looking at this being reduced to a simple possession of marijuana case, misdemeanor, or him going into the diversion program. But in this particular county, they going for blood. Meriwether County, they going for blood for charges that other counties don't go for blood in. And I think that's the problem with the criminal justice system, not just in these country counties, but all over the United States of America. Someone that hasn't been in trouble with the law for 20 years, that does not have a felony on their record, should not be facing a felony conviction which will totally ruin their entire life and their entire career for a couple ounces of weed in which no one was hurt, no one was killed, no one was robbed. And I'm not saying if you don't do the crime, you shouldn't do the time. However, and I'm not alleging that he did do the crime. What I am saying is that the punishment should fit the crime. And it's even in big cities like New York City where you can get a year in jail for carrying a concealed weapon. That's stupid. The Second Amendment says a well-trained militia being necessary for the security of a free state, the right of the people to bear arms shall not be infringed. And even though that's federal law, and that's what the Constitution applies to, the federal law, but states should give some type of deference to the Constitution. And if you carry a gun in New York, you can get a year. Even if you don't have a record, you can get some jail time or some prison time in New York City for carrying a concealed weapon. And it's not like that in Georgia. Down in Georgia, you can walk around with a pistol, and if you don't have a CCW and you don't have a felony, you can just walk around with it showing. So it goes both ways. So just because somewhere is in the north and it's a so-called progressive city doesn't mean they don't have draconian laws. So just a message to y'all young brothers out there, especially black men. I can't judge what brothers do for a living. I don't judge what people do. I'm not the moral police. Like I say, I'm a criminal defense attorney. When people ask me, well, how can you defend this person? They got charged with rape or child molestation or murder, or they just beat an old lady over the head and beat her brains out, or they selling all this dope. Listen, I'm not the moral police. My job is not to judge people. Everything my clients tell me is confidential, and I don't pass judgment. My job is to beat cases. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I just want to let you young brothers know, particularly black men, try to avoid committing crimes. Try to avoid committing crimes if you can. I don't know what your living circumstances are, because once you get in this system, especially as a black man, I'm telling you as an attorney, they are targeting us. Go in a courtroom in most cities of the United States of America. Go in a courtroom and just sit where the public sit on arraignment day or on bond day. And I guarantee you, in most counties and most jurisdictions throughout the United States, you're going to see nothing but black men. That's not a coincidence. We don't commit more crimes. We're just being targeted more. So try your best, my brother, to never commit a crime. Never commit a crime. If you got to commit a crime, and I'm not telling you to commit one, make sure you got some lawyer money put up, because it does make a difference. But try your best never to commit a crime. And I'll end with this. A lot of times it's not about the crime you committed. It's about where you commit the crime. For example, in Fulton County and DeKalb County, I may be able to get you a bond on a murder charge. I may be able to get you a bond on a murder charge in Clayton County. I'm not going to be able to get you a bond on no murder charge in no Meriwether County. I'm not going to be able to get you no bond on no murder charge. And I'm good. I might not be able to get you a bond on a murder charge in Cobb County, because in some counties, life is cheaper than other ones. So, young brothers, do not commit a crime. Do not commit a crime. And if you do, make sure you're very, very aware of the climate of the judicial system in the county where you are committing the alleged crime. The purpose of the Don't Go to Prison initiative is to deter black youth from going to prison, founded by attorney Mohammed Luwemba. www.don'tgo2prison.com. That's www.don'tgotoprison.com. Get our merch, Don't Go to Prison hats, Don't Go to Prison support buttons. We also about to come out with the Don't Go to Prison support certificates, where you can hang up on your wall to let the world know that you support the Don't Go to Prison initiative. Peace.